right, what is going on YouTube? I know I have not been here personally for a while. My apologies. I've been doing things that have been, taking my time away from Fortnite. But I wanted to come on here and I wanted to say that I'm going to be revamping the channel here. I don't really want to do as much Fortnite content anymore. Starting to get into more things that are more important to me personally, such as, I got this new medical device sales job that I've been loving, and getting into real estate a little bit more in personal finance. So I wanted to come on, share, kind of change the narrative of the channel a little bit to help out sort of like, younger entrepreneurs, investors, anyone that's really interested kind of like in the space. So that's where, the channel shift is going to go. Thank you to, all the subscribers that I have so far. Obviously, you guys have been great and, stayed on here and subscribed for as long as you have. So yeah, without ado, I definitely think this information is going to be beneficial to younger people, helping them, achieve success and stuff in the long term. So, we'll go ahead, we'll get that rolling. The first video that I'm going to do here is actually going to be 3 common money mistakes that people in their 20s do. I am in my 20s. So, it's not like I'm speaking from a point where I'm older, but I do, get up early in the morning and, watch a lot of YouTube videos trying to educate myself on that topic. So, without further ado, we're going to get into that, share some things that are, important, and I think you'll find important. All right, number 1 here is going to be not investing early. I have a bunch of friends that, don't think that they have enough money to really invest at the current time. I think this is, one of the biggest mistakes that people make because, by default, thinking that, you have to have a certain amount of cash in order to invest would mean that you'd have to delay the process until you have that point at which you have that cash, which you don't know how long that can exactly be. Even putting in, $1, $2 into the stock market and just seeing how that fluctuates day to day, can really change the tide for a lot of people. And what I mean by that is, a lot of people get very emotional in this when, their money goes up and down, sort of like a balloon going up and down, and then they get tempted to pull it out. So even if you do this with like $1 to $2, that's sort of going to ease that tension. Whereas if you put, $1,000, $10,000, then it dips in there, you might get a little bit more emotionally invested. So, what I would do as soon as you can, I would just download a site like, Charles Schwab or use Vanguard or something like that. Just open up, an individual brokerage, put a couple of dollars in there in like an index fund or an ETF, and then just see what happens. Because the worst thing that you can do is just draw time, because compound interest is one of the biggest things that a lot of people, want to get when they're earlier on. Even like I started at 18 when I was doing that, and that's helped me out tremendously. So, whenever you can, just start building those financial habits. Would not wait until, you're 30 plus to at least just download it and get educated on it. So, that's what I would do if you're in that range. Just make sure that you get that done. All right, number 2 is going to be staying in a job that values time for money versus a job that's performance for money. So, for example, when I was an athletic trainer, I was making a pretty crappy wage at the time. You would just go in and be about, 8 hours a day. You'd get the same wage all the time. Really no striations from that. And then, maybe at the end of the year, if you did well, you get a 3% bump. Right. So transitioning to what I'm doing now in a sales role where, you're based on your performance is what you get paid. That's what I would recommend trying to find some kind of job to do. There's a lot of jobs out there that will do that, real estate agents, sales, anything like that are one where you can just start building your business slowly from the ground, and, that will completely compensate you for that. So, that is what I would do, because the longer you stick in a job that pays you for time, you're really not in control of the exact money that you're going to generate. Now, I know that some jobs, will pay you a good amount for your time, but still, the skill ceiling on that is still usually the 3% raise in most positions. Whereas if you find some job, a lot of times you'll get, kicked around a lot in the beginning, but if you find a good company that'll keep you around, train you well, and then let you go out and do your own thing to where you can really scale your income, that is what I would recommend doing. The amount of money that I made from, when I was an athletic trainer versus in medical device sales has been, gigantic. It's probably 3 times the amount that it was before. And, not a lot changed as far as experience, just a lot of hustle, grit, and then drive to go out there and get it done. And if you have that, then, you're well on your way to scaling your income up. All right, so the last mistake that I see a lot of people make is not choosing who they hang out with wisely. This was a big thing for me. Like getting out of college, like some of my friends that I had during college were just not, on the path that I wanted or like saw myself for. So therefore, if they're not, then that means, you know, I'm not going to be on that path either if I continue to hang out with them in that regard. And that's perfectly fine. You know, people have different lifestyle choices, different everything, but you know, you got to find your group of people that will propel you to where you want to go. You know, so I started hanging out with a lot of people that are, you know, older than me. I'd say my best friend right now is about 50 years old, which, you know, to some people is a little weird, but you know, I can bounce ideas off of him. Him and I talk about the same things that, you know, we're both interested in, so it creates like a good, you know, friend dynamic, because I do think there is a value piece in friendships, whether it be, you know, you find them very funny, you know, anything like that. So excuse me. So yeah, you know, I would choose your friends very wisely. I try and find some people that are, you know, more financially inclined, and you can just bounce ideas off of them, because that'll make things a lot easier going forward. And then you both will have a great friendship, you know, because if you both are on the same things, the same goals, then you guys are going to reach them together, and it's not going to be like a, you know, a deceitful friendship. Like, you know, for example, if someone is very successful and another person's not successful, that unsuccessful person is most likely going to, you know, take shots in that direction of the successful person because they don't enjoy that they're successful, which is a crappy way to live. But, you know, if you have friends like that, you have to get rid of them. Find friends that are going to help you out and help you grow and create the life you want to live. All right, so that is all. That was just a short little video that I'm doing today, just a little like intro opener, but we're going to be doing all of these things on this channel, giving you more tips, more in-depth analyses. I'm going to start to do some more things on the channel, integrate them, so, you know, bear with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. That's going to help me out tremendously, especially now that I'm taking it, you know, increasingly more serious on this. So, you know, my goal is to definitely hit, you know, 1,000 subscribers within the year, or maybe a little bit after the year. So, you know, just, you know, keep rocking with me. I'll keep delivering you these tips and tricks, and then, you know, we'll go from there.